All right, later. I just get. You can't eat snacks all the time. Okay, it's gonna be balanced out, bro. Seriously. You like third movies? You got one down there. You got one in there. One in there. Downstairs, you got water everywhere. You got water everywhere, Papa. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You know, get stuck again. You gotta get him clipped. Yeah, she should bring you by. $20. That's all. And if you lean over here, man, you're gonna be fighting. Yo, I got the strap. I know you love water. I know. You wanna climb in the bathtub again? You tried to kill my arm when I was giving you a bath. You forgot. You can play with it. Go ahead. You can't move that. I gotta wait before I put that in, actually. Hey, what's going on, guys? I have to think. I have to do some serious thinking for a little bit. Always. I think that's one of the issues we have today. People don't think. They believe they're thinking, but I don't like to be with confusion. I like to sort things out in my thoughts. What I'm going to say, what I refuse to say, what I was going to say and I choose not to say. So I started my whole 5-day water fast. Water meaning that coconut water, all water that I purified. And this one right here, I'll sip for the next hour and a half or so. That's why I just added lime juice to it. And this is one of the ones I utilize. If I don't like the limes that I see coming out of Mexico. Like I said, there are farms by this institution, this lying institution, governed by the very same individuals buying farmland here, which you can't purchase, you can't own anything, but they've got everybody confused and believing that they can own everything. You own nothing, trust me. And they keep poisoning the food that comes here. These sick bastards who the media just can't, because they're stuck, they're compelled to keep talking about these individuals. Now the talk is Lori Lightfoot didn't get reelected. First of all, I want to know you idiots in Chicago that voted for her because she's black, you idiots. Listen to her last name, Lightfoot. Lori, showing that she's predominantly from a foreign and indigenous, but orthodox. This is for you natives who come here and watch and you don't know what to say. I have love for you, but I have utter disrespect because you have utter disregard for the truth of history, because you don't know the truth of it, nor how you came to be. And I say this because it needs to be said. You never called yourself Aboriginal, Indigenous, or Orthodox up until we came out of the shadows. Now, I never was in the shadow. And those who knew me in the North, and even the pale-skinned ones who were faking, knew to stay away from me. When I go into Eagle Rock Reservation, they didn't have nothing, no words, because I would give them the look. In my youth, I give them the look that I knew they knew was utter hate. This utter hate. And they wouldn't smirk or nothing. They would get a ghost-like sad look on their face and walk away knowing the truth. But you individuals are brand new in this world, and you carry on as if you really know existence itself. I just wrote, it took me a while to find the actual address to write the history fictional channel. And I says, why do y'all keep talking about Washington and these individuals when their existence is a complete makeup, a made-up history, a complete satire? And I says, you usually respond on the Gmail, and I know that wasn't the History Channel. I know that was the consortiums who respond to messages, and it's never with a direct response. It's antiquated with about a bunch of nonsense. So I was able to reach out to somebody who actually worked for them, and I was able to get their proper address and number. I just didn't want to hear nobody's voice over there because I know that they're no good. And so I wrote them to express the fact that they have changed the pictures on the walls in the Franklin House, that they have alluded to the perception of fake white superiority, which is fraudulent. How can 3% of the world's population be superior to anybody when our children still have the highest IQs on earth? So in regards to that, I don't care how the education system is set up to go against the natural order to which our children still have within them, to abate it, to push it away so that you can be something. So you keep running around with your fictional history. Now I'm waiting for Killer 2-6 and all these other fictional characters running around the res and the drugs and everything else, and the anger at themselves, the anger that they have for themselves, to come over here and open their big mouths. The cartoon characters they are. So I can show them for who they are. Now it took me time, it took me about several years from res to here to locate where all these people live and some of your history by just utilizing your names and some of the things you've stated, and with your feeble-mindedness of putting your feelings out there to show that a lot of y'all's families from Scotland ain't been here since 1920. some 1875, the majority of natives 1830. So if you want to have that dialect, we can have that. And I don't want to see nothing talking about 1700 made up history. These people are great collaborators when it comes to rewriting history. They're very good at it. Now, with that being said, I want to throw something out here. Y'all know what omen means, right? For ill or good, right? An event regarded as a portent of good or evil, right? Portent, a sign of or warning that something, especially something momentous or calamitous, is likely to happen. They believe that the wild birds in the house were portents of death. So, an exceptional or wonderful person or thing, literary. What portent can be grateful than a pious notary? So, it could be vexing or blessings. So, I say this because a lot of people don't have a clue about spiritual signs and omens or light, and 3 ways you can encounter them. There's more, but I wanted to read this. Now, this is Albert Einstein. It's not like he learned this when he was over there. With our constant exposure to digital news, ads, and social media. Well, actually, he said coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. That's Albert Einstein. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. What God was Albert Einstein speaking on, because we know him not to be a Jew. But with our constant exposure to digital news, ads, and social media, we've lost the valuable skill that our ancestors had of gathering information firsthand from our surroundings. We lost the ability to perceive the deep interconnection between us and the natural world, and the different ways nature is alive and communicates with us. We just haven't lost it. We have been seduced to something else, driven off the farm, and we become collaborators in a false destiny that is more purgatory than the relevance to freedom. The patterns of birds in flight, the blooming of trees outside of their season, the temperature of the ocean's water, the invasion of ants or snails. There are so many occurrences in nature that carry valuable information and significance that we don't pay attention to anymore. We don't know how to read the true signs. They be made into buku voodoo, witchcraft and all this other nonsense. Nature is always communicating with us, and often this occurs through the appearance of signs and omens, good or bad. Indigenous traditions understood this as working and being in harmony with the flow or web of life. Through physics, we know this as the unified field. That's their narrative. We know it as plainly and blatantly order. Nothing more, nothing less. No matter how they want to turn it or create whatever narrative they do. These spiritual signs and omens present themselves to us daily, or at least once in a blue moon. On our spiritual journeys, like breadcrumbs to follow, we can relearn how to trace the wisdom of this subtle guidance. The result is an increased sense of understanding, awe, reverence, interconnectedness, love, and self-awareness. Signs and omens are a magical doorway to the present moment. So we'll use the literary magical. All right, we'll allow that. Over the last few years, I have been finding new ways to deeply connect to the world around me. One of these ways is by paying close attention to the signs and omens I encounter throughout my daily life. Now, how would he know the signs and omens, though? I always question everything I read, but it's important to do that. Watching out for spiritual signs and omens not only provides me with guidance, but it is also an effective method of grounding my awareness in the present moment. When seeing through clear eyes that are rooted in the present moment, now pay attention, when seeing through clear eyes that are rooted in the present moment, I realize that life sends us so many signs, messages, and omens every day. Literally does. It's just that many of us don't have the eyes to see it. We get lost in our chaotic and blurry thoughts of the past and future that we forget. The wonders that lie with us in the present. Keeping this in mind, I try to start every day with grounded and aware presence and receptivity to life. That's why I like to go out and it was raining. I don't trust the rain. I'm not fearful of it. I don't mind walking on fire. But I didn't ground my feet like I usually do every day, nor did I hug the tree. I went and made sure I had enough water to last for the next at least 3 to 4 days. And here, at least a gallon a day with lime, and I've got 6 things of coconut water and 1 per day with lemon. Now, I just took 250 milligrams of slow niacin. It's to help remove plaque buildup. If you don't get vitamin K2, the mineral, and you're taking vitamin D, you're having plaque buildup. So what is that? That means paying copious attention to what it is you're doing with yourself. Am I still going to utilize minerals and vitamins? When you fast, you're supposed to not take nothing. Your body has resources that are cut off, blockers, and you need to make it through the first 3 days, which is pretty harsh. But then the next 2 days, you get this elevation. The thing is, after 5 days of fasting on water alone, you have to juice for the next 2 days after that, the 6th and 7th day, before you can take on small copious amounts of solid food, which preferably be raw vegetables and fruits, nothing cooked. The mistake we always make is we go back to eating chicken and get a burger with no bread or a piece of cheese, or no. Get some raspberries, some blueberries, get some blackcurrants, get a couple of apples, some oranges, eat a lemon and a lime, get some carrots, definitely some carrots, chew on some celery, get some broccoli florets, get you some arugula, some mixed vegetables. Eat that, but spread it out at least with 2 small meals a day so your stomach can get the fiber that your body requires. So, not eating anything. I'm telling you this because I want you to be aware. I have my right toe, because of martial arts, my right toe between the bone has no cartilage. And people say, well, how do you get around? Well, there are days the pain is there and I don't want to walk. What do? I manifest in myself by looking at myself, and I'm clear of what my mistakes are, and I pursue. I walk on it regardless. What do? You saw me doing this, right? I cup myself all over my body for blood flow. So I'll be doing that throughout the day, and I'll be doing small sessions of 5-minute meditation. But I'll be wearing clothes today. Usually I get butt naked, but I'm on synthetic carpet, so it matters not. So what I do is I take my foot and I rub it gently like this. And I will sit there for 5 to 10 minutes looking at TV, looking at the friggin' wall, thinking thoughts, and I'll just rub it. What am I doing? What am I doing by doing that? The heat between my hands, the energy that really lies within me, regardless of the toxins and every poison, I'm allowing regeneration. There are acupressure points all over your body. Every inch of your body is an acupressure point. So what am I doing? I'm allowing myself to be relevant to the pain. It's not too bad today, but it's there. And I continue to do that, knowing that it's going to fix itself. This AM, when I woke up, I went to sleep around 7:30, 8 o'clock yesterday. So when I woke up this morning around 3:30, 4 o'clock, my phone was kind of dead, so I charged it. But I wanted to pay for this room, for this event between me, Westside, Rondo, Trauma Hawk, somebody else, to go out there and survey visually the land of his, and then have conversations, whatever we need to do. So I had to make the payment for a pretty decent place for a couple of nights, and pretty cheap if you ask me. And so I did that, and in doing that, I got notifications on Instagram, but they were for Facebook. Instagram, but it was for Facebook. And so I tapped on to see what it is. These guys, and I know some of them get offended when they come and look at my videos, to which I care not. And I will start calling out names because I see some of them stuck in the same place. All they keep talking about over there is, we're Indian. You lost brothers and sisters just don't know how to move forward, do you? You do not know how to move forward. We got a brother who's so arguing on men being women and women being men that now he's calling certain gentlemen who I know are men. See my finger? See that finger right there? I know some women say mine's just that long. Actually, if your head can fit in between your shoulders, you may have been changed at birth not knowing it. And you live your life. Now, if you've had children, then there's nothing I can say to that. Not 1 out of a million. But when the ring finger, supposedly the ring finger, that's not what it's called, but anyway, ours is longer than our pointer, our index. All right? Women, yours is shorter. Not every man's Adam apple sticks out like a point. Some's, depending on their glandulars, are there. And some, if you're very muscular, depending on your cut and your structure, you might have a long neck, but it'll be there. It just will be it'll be surrounded, depending on if you're doing steroids. I should know. I was a power lifter. I worked out with some of the biggest bodybuilders, and they weren't really all that big. They were some short mother suckers, 220 pounds of just nothing but muscle. Waistline like that. I mean, crazy. So I get the self-affliction of wanting to prove something all the time, but what makes no sense to me, how is it relevant when you're doing things and you're not showing everybody what you're doing? See, that shows that shows that many people have bad omens about themselves. And that should be a bad omen noticed by the individuals. But if they're not taught, nurtured in seeing these, I see everybody run to these individuals and follow them. I'm not here for no follows. I'm here for you to be family and for us to be able to communicate, because it's not like y'all going to get on a plane or drive here and throw a sleeping bag out and camp out for a week or two, and we can all sit around by a fire and talk. I know that's not within you. But I know that you run through these things, and I'm surprised at some of the people I see liking on some of the foolishness. Now, this is not to beat the individuals up that do it. Some of them are very cordial, but they're stuck and they can't see it. It's not like Jaguar Wright, who's angered at her not come up and how she was misused. And rightfully so. But yet you people still run to these individuals, and it makes to me no sense at all. If you cannot see in yourself how great you are, and with no ill will, I say this, to know that you're great and you don't have to have the world know it. To be great is to manifest the things that are great about you, no matter what's going on the outside. Recently, I've been seeing 3 birds. Well, first of all, keeping this in mind, I try to start every day with grounded and aware presence and receptivity to life. The reception is important. And I often discover something amazing on my morning walks. Life or spirit is directly communicating with me, as one being ultimately inseparable from it. We're literally inseparable from it, yet we make a choice. Remember, I'm always saying we have choices. My unconscious needs or questions are frequently met with spiritual signs and omens of various natures. I told you I shadow work. That's what they call it. I don't really call it that. I call it good medicine. And I do it with a purpose. Recently, I've been seeing 3 birds constantly cross my path: the wagtail, the white ibis, and the duck. He didn't say the crow, which is also good fortune. Upon reflection and the frog, deep observation, I understand that the wagtail represents playfulness and joy. The white ibis represents opportunity, and the duck represents nurturing. But what opportunity he's talking about? He's probably talking about world opportunity. That's not a good omen. Opportunity means for self, to recognize and see something for better connection. I can say in my own, but I understand it in a deeper, not perverse level. And the duck represents nurturing. To me, the message from life is very clear. Every day is an opportunity to experience joy and self-love, no matter what happens. Signs and omens in the spiritual waking journey. This is his statement. On a similar note, just as seeing signs and omens are powerful ways of reconnecting with the present moment, they also commonly signify that you're going through a deep spiritual shift. Some call this an expansion in consciousness. Others call it an evolution of the soul. But in essence, a spiritual awakening is what happens when we wake up. In other words, we start questioning the decisions we've made, the paths we've chosen, and even the beliefs and values we've automatically adopted or inherited from others. The proverbial veil of unconsciousness and living on autopilot ends, and a new era begins. We start searching out the truth. But in it, we must be courteous. We must respect the journey we're on. And a lot of people have a very hard time in doing that. You know what I mean? I'm still having a pretty decent trivial walk, but my passion is stronger. So I don't mind the trivial walk. I have shared with you the fact that I'm fasting because we should share that knowledge so we can hold each other accountable, not to banish and to abstain and to distract and to beat down or to trot upon, but to hold each other accountable is the most important, valuable thing we can do. And most people have a hard time with that. Why? Because we live in a time of introvertness. That means people who have actually went inside not to find, not to better, but to implode. And so what happens with that implosion? Just like TNT around, I guess you could say, whatever molecular atom they want to use, uranium, plutonium, that implosion caused an explosion that is bigger on more scales than you can see. So in that implosion, when people becoming introvert, it's all negative energy. It destroys. Okay? So we have to deal with self. And so many people that I keep seeing, and I scrolled down, and it was like the same thing over and over. I'm surprised at Michael C. Hampton. I figured you moved beyond that, brother. And there's a few others. I'm not beating up on him. I like the information he shares, but it doesn't need to be. When you become reprobate, that means you are stuck. You have not acquiesced to move forward and beyond. Information sharing is a wonderful thing, but if you're not sharing it with the children, and you're talking with the same individuals who you've been dealing with, what is going on? What is that roundabout? That is not a knight of the round table nonsense. That is pure nonsense. So where do spiritual signs and omens come into the picture? The uncanny, strange, serendipitous, and sometimes, in parentheses, even miraculous occurrences you might experience are always of deepening your awakening and keeping you alert. It's like a nudge from the divine who is trying to get your attention. Many times these signs and omens are messages in disguise. Your soul, light, hava, after all, doesn't speak in words, but communicates through signs, symbols, feelings, instincts, and vivid dreams. So if we've been nurtured in this coital place of a breakdown, what emanates from us? When we implode, what comes out? Not light, but jannah, darkness, jinn, zen, zuni, zenny, blackness, nothing but emptiness. It's like a barren wasteland all over the place, exuding from us. Is that good? If I am wrong, correct me. Say, Red, it's a fallacy, brother. And then explain to me. The brother's reading here. I'll give you. Let me go down. I'm not going to read it all to you. I'll show you if you want to go and read it. There's many others. I'm just using this individual. Okay. Walk the path less traveled. Okay. This is welcome. Our names are Luna and Soul, and we're spiritual educators and guides, currently living in Perth, Western Australia. Our core mission, he is mixed, Australian and probably German or Dutch. Thus the penal colony was sent there, and his wife is of the same. And I'll see if I can tap on this picture and see if I can get it to become a little bigger here, and let you see them. Here they are. This is what I love about humanity. And I say that, humanity. And we can break it down and know it means something else. Yet, for just complete communique, I love to see people when they come into their own and they realize through all the turmoil and toil and troubles that there's a better way. I was talking to the manager here and I says, hey man, I'm thinking about here shortly having an opening house and let people walk through and buy whatever they want. Everything. He says, are you serious? I says, yeah, and I'll let you know. Okay. Let me know first. I was like, of course. And there won't be no price tags. Everything will be going very cheap. But I'm thinking about taking my truck, trading it in for a longer bed, even though it's a brand new, downsizing still put the lift kit on the newer one, not on this one. This one's already raised pretty high. A longer bed, and put a camper on the back, and then build out a small living quarter in the back of it, and just be on the road. Wherever I choose to go. And if the earth solves me up or expels me or whatever, I'm good with that. Or I may do something else. The communicate is there because I'm a free spirit, as you may call it. And I don't have no wands for any of this. I'd rather be on the lands of my brothers and sisters. Maybe travel to my lands. We don't own nothing, but do you know what I mean? Well, my ancestors relegated themselves for a while to visit the old grounds, to have a vision of seeing my ancestors walking around and protecting and laughing and giggling and cheering, running, my great-great ancestors running and playing when they're youth, to allow myself to see what is there within me. I find it very important, and I love when I see people in the world take on their own chalice, their own mantle, and carry themselves in a way that is more enlightening compared to the dumbing down, the systemic, irrational fluidity and feelings and emotions that are not even real, not even theirs, but a construct of other narratives, what people have said and what people have posted or what people have made, what people have taught them. And then they wonder why there's so much agony and pain. It's time for a serious change, people. And either you want to change or you like right where you're at. Now, I know many people who are rich, very so-called rich. They believe they are. And they have an arrogance about them. They say, don't make the money, don't let the money make you. There's not one rich person that I don't know. I mean, there's not one rich person I know who the money has not made. And they're not really rich. They have a lot, and they're still going through everything everybody else is going through. And that should be proverbial. That should speak volumes. And they're targeted more so than what you believe. There is no comfortability there. I'd rather have a lease of anything and go about as I am, even seen tattered by those, and be rich with truth and light. I actually despise the word rich, but to be enriched with light. So I know that y'all heard me yesterday, and I'm going to be going in on a whole lot of folk because they need a whole lot of going into. Right now, the only going in they've gotten, what they're doing is effing each other. That's not appropriate. And what amazes me is how people build these followings, and the whole purpose was to misguide, to utilize it as if it's some advantage. People have a hard time when I say this is not a tournament of any sorts. This is not a competition. No. When they get to that point and they believe it is, sometimes you got to grab their chain because they're still slaves. And you got to bring them back down to the ground, this has somebody inflating their head and they're choking themselves and they don't know it. So we got to bring them down and start helping to relieve that tension from that collar around their neck. And I know it's very hard to grasp where I'm coming from because you're not me. I walk my own walk. Yet, I'm going to always share what needs to be shared. I'm going to check. And if I come off a little too shoddy or let's say, yo, Red, what's going on, brother? But make sure that you can articulate exactly what you mean. Because then I will hold you accountable for you even opening your mouth and having a feeling, a retort of a moment without knowing exactly what it is you want to say. Because see, that can confound and cause someone to fumble. So we make a correlation for correction. So make sure that you can articulate it, not based in feelings or what you think, if you have not thought it through. Because sometimes we think and there's no clarity in that process. So I always say to people, just because you went through something and done something, if you have not extrapolated, if you not allowed yourself to be grounded, and you haven't searched through all the venues of that, and you're not really embroidered, if that's not stitched into your fabric of who you are, sometimes you should not broach upon opening your mouth, because you can cause more calamity, because there's nothing but chaos. Especially if somebody who can see that doesn't mean they can see everything. Me, I can happily see when people are talking. I can actually listen and actually hear something. But is it relevant? Everybody wants to be relevant. Yet there are times when we speak and there's no relevance to what we're actually saying. I thought it important to speak on this because I don't want people to think, Red, man. Not that I give a rat's behind what you think, actually. But I don't really want the younger individuals to think, man, Red is conflicting, when actually it's themselves. When I continue to just guide the way that I'm allowed, or what I find relevant for guidance in a particular area. So the history that they've stopped teaching, they knew that we would realize that a majority of it was a lie. See, they knew. What amazes me, you weren't aware that they knew. What troubles me is now a lot of you in the knowing do not take it up as a challenge to show them that they don't know everything and that you're way ahead of that. And some of you might say, well, how can I be way ahead of it if you've got to remove those blockers? You have to allow yourself not to formulate, but to step back into order. Order is all around you. We were talking about good omens and bad omens. We don't see them because we weren't nurtured to see them. We weren't showed how to do this, that, and other. Well, I'm doing what I can to give you a little bit. Now, if you want to believe that your existence is by your race and your creed and your color and your background or whatever is the go-to all, then so be it. I'm not here to, but you won't talk about my people. You won't dismiss the truth and our relevance, our true power. It cannot be placated no more, because we are very, very powerful people. It's just been misfocused and misguided. Not no more. No more lies. No more awkward waywardness. And for you melanated individuals who are still causing confusion, my only advice to you, I don't care what costume you wear, you really should think about making a better choice. Now, as far as my pale skin brothers and sisters, and a lot of them who's going to watch later, they're going to love it. For you who have an issue, who have disbelief because you just love your little lies, you have a choice too. For the pale brothers, y'all come watch running through here all the time, the ones who think you are, whatever. Are y'all aware that 91% of pale skinned women want to be with a black man? Not only want to be with him, they want to give their all to him. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, some of your sisters and aunts and cousins. Oh, that's right. You're still based upon the Zionist, fake Jews dichotomy of fake creation and history that makes you, to put you in a position to think you can keep us down. We've been doing that to ourselves. If the Black Caucus and all these fumbling niggas like Farrakhan and all these other goofballs would get gone, Cory Booker's and all them worthless sons of bitches, and everybody didn't have an ear, you wouldn't be able to stop the unbridling that would happen. Not one of you. That's going to happen. You're going to find out. They say 162 people commit suicide every day. And are you aware that there's anywhere between 60 to 92 police officers that commit suicide every day? Up from 2017. I'm just using that as an example. Oh, no, all denominations. I'm not saying that to be evil. I'm saying the reality of it is the truth. Regardless of what you want to believe in your world of fiction. In order to come out of a lie, you must step out of it. Doesn't mean that you have to accept everything as truth. But I could dig that. It'd be hard to come out of a lie and start accepting everything everybody's saying. Yet you could take a swollen, small step. That means suck in all air you can and take the small step on the other side and see for yourself. I'm not telling you to go and embrace every goddamn dumb Negro running around and every terrible pale skin. And I'm saying allow yourself to breathe as well. You got some power in you too. Yes, you do. When I said the women are our most powerful, they are. Misguided, bad omen or good omen. But with us, it's something else. If you never heard about the Haitian women doing the Haitian war with France, now it ain't my fault if you don't know the truth. And they had to put that in obscurity with melanated people running around murdering those powerful women. Research it. Same thing here. And then they took our history after the murders and everything when we thought everybody that relaxed with the fake treaties and all that other stuff, which was nothing but, hey, look, white flag, white flag. And then give it to somebody else if it was that, as if it was their history, and it never was their history, to cover up what was done to our benevolence, to our great warriors and our great warriors. See, y'all have a hard time knowing this truth. I wouldn't expect you to accept it. I'm not here to make you accept nothing. But what you won't do is be discouraged that you have continued to be. I even wrote that fake ass producer about Abe Lincoln, the Vampire Slayer. I gave him a piece of my mind. He probably went around with a butt plug in or something like that, but whatever. I sure did. I had to play a little dark country for this. So let's go ahead and get a little reading in. Again, this is Abraham Africanus I, not one, Alexander Del Mar, John F. Fleeks and Company. His secret life as revealed under the mesmeric influence mysteries of the White House, which is the Franklin House. Ain't no damn White House. Anybody still calling the White House, you're retarded. You are definitely not going to be listened to by the majority of us who actually know better. Even my great-great-uncles fought in that fictional Civil War and said, man, that ain't no damn White House. I don't know why they're telling y'all that. They was, Uncle Ten, Uncle C, there was no White House. That was the Franklin House. It wasn't even really, we didn't even have a name for it, and it wasn't what it is today. But y'all don't know no better. I know. It's all right. Now remember, this is 1800s. All this right here. This is not brand new. Chapter 9. I have heard it related by a party that Mr. Lincoln has seen fit to incarcerate in Fort Warren, that on a certain occasion when Bram was very hard up and had to sell his furniture out there in Illinois in order to keep the pot boiling, he wandered out into the prairie, unconscious of where he was. So deeply was he engrossed with the difficulties that beset him on all sides. And you know what that is, right? The new world that was coming upon us. He hadn't a friend in the world and didn't know what to turn his hands to earn a living, that is. Thus moodily engaged, he came near to a spot where my informant was trapping prairie hens, and then he sat down and gave vent to his pent-up miseries in these words: "Cocklet, I'd better bust these parts and immigrate right smart, or maybe I'll come to grief. Mother's cove in and father's looking arter of the critters. Flat boating is too all-fired fatiguing. Rail splitting is played out, cause Hanks throwed me, and singing nigger songs is gone to smash." He just do his singing nigger songs, dance a jig. That's what a lot of our people have said that we did in those turbulent times. I could dance right smart on a springboard, but what's the use when you can't get nothing for it but a shock or two of corn and a pull of 40 rod. Drinks, people. I'd a heap sight rather go a canoeing if I could get aboard one of them crabs, but even them is no good. There ain't no canals in this section of the country. Tain't no use speculating on father's kicking the bucket, so the only thing left is to dig a hole here in the prairie and just expire right off. So saying, he proceeded to divest himself of his clothing and boots. The latter he hung up on an old ridge pole that stood on the plain and affixed a placard to them. They were odd specimens of footgear, being nearly 18 inches long and proportionately wide. The legs or uppers were so near the center that it was difficult to determine which the wearer had the most of, heel or toe, and the soles were entirely gone from long wear. The placard read thus: "These is from Abe Hanks, likewise named Abe Lincoln, to the widow Hennepin, her son, likewise named Abe. The eels is fled, the shanks is rather gone up, the sole is gone the other way. But the uppers is good, and will make a pair of boots for him if he's a good boy. Farewell, my biller is bust, and go I must. Abe Hank." Mr. Lincoln. "And now," said the intended suicide, making a pillow of his cloths and lying down on the earth in a posture of determined sleep, "I don't care what the devil becomes of me." He had no sooner said the word devil than up jumps a man as it were from the very earth itself, and advances very politely towards the recumbent Abe. In a few moments they became very intently engaged in conversation, but in such low tones that my informant could not catch a word. Curiosity getting the better of judgment, he crept cautiously towards them until he heard the stranger say, "On this condition, sign the bond, and you shall not only get all you ask, but I'll make you a member of the legislature." "What?" cried Abe. "Have you any interest with the legislature?" "I should think I had," returned the other. "I'm personally acquainted with every man of them, and besides that, keep a boarding house down below for all the ex-members." "Sure. Suppose I stir up with this all-fired nigger question," Kinder cussed brisk. "What'll you do in that case, old boy?" He was asking Abe, calling him a nigger. "Keep you in for 2 terms? Couldn't you make it Washington instead of Vandelay?" insinuated Abe. After the statement, Couldn't you couldn't you make it Washington instead of Vandalay? Insinuated Abe. What? Cried the other. Are you so ambitious as all that? Why, man? You have an ability enough to keep 2 listeners in their seats. Never mind that, returned Abe. Just you help me a little when I falter and have the name of honest. Well stuck to me, and I'll go through it easier than you imagine. Well then, agreed, said the other. And if any success attends the plan, and any certain indications of civil war appear, I will be willing perhaps to enter into a new contract with you. You know war contracts are very profitable. What do you mean? Inquired Abe, evidently not understanding his friend correctly. I mean, I'll give you the first contract under the war. You agree to bring to death 1 million of human beings, and I'll agree to give you the presidency. The presidency, exclaimed Abe, rising from the earth in his agitation and seeming to soar with his long limbs as high as the ridgepole itself. His emotion was so extraordinary that words failed to express it. The stranger, pleased at this exhibition, extended his hand. Abe grasped it heartily. I guess you're saying the first nigga to sell us out. Pulling the other towards him. Threw himself into his arms. They were the tallest pair my informant ever saw, and bore a striking resemblance to each other, sufficient to be brothers. Fearful of discovery, he crept away at this juncture, and turning round at the distance of a couple of miles, beheld them still together, standing hand in hand beside the ridge pole. Next, we'll get into chapter 10. Will be the Fiend. We'll read that when I come back in a couple hours. Now I will be back. I'm not going nowhere. Water fast. Matter of fact, I'm drinking the lime so I don't cramp so bad. They say little sips. Thirst beholds me. And again, who remembers the date when this was written? Does anybody remember the date? Excuse me. I told you where it was printed at. You know it was New York, obviously. With one of Who's print presses? Mr. Who himself? Mr. Douglas's print shop? And J. Feeks was the publisher? 26th Street? I love the fact that they got a nice looking picture. Now, this picture is actually from this time period. Now, I know some of y'all want to go out there and find some of the stuff. 1861. This is an actual picture from that time. Now, I've shared, when I was actually on Facebook, when I had the account, those pictures from back then showing the actual Democratic and the Republican Party. The Republican Party being a big old lip, somber Negro, and the Jew being on the Democratic one. But people didn't want to believe it, and then they researched and they're like, oh snap, this is really from that time. Yes, democratic society. That is when this stuff was made, 1861. When was he murdered? When did the Civil War end? And I know you people have a hard time with it. Wait until you see the book that I'm waiting on. It should be here. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. It's on the phone. I don't know if it's on here. Let me see if I can pull it up in Gmail. We'll see. If I can, it'd be a wonderful thing. Zoom meeting invitation. Oh man, is that today? Anyway, Janet Tatahaya. Janet and Tatahaya, Ford Dark. All right, I'll look at that later. It should be right. I did the Zelle, took care of that. Okay, thrift books. Okay, I should receive it. Monday. Awesome. I should receive, it says, yeah. Okay, Monday. Thrift books. If I wouldn't have got it through Thrift Books, I would actually have paid $160 for this book. $180, it said. No. So I paid the $65 for it. And it better come the way I ordered. It better come. And it's volume 1. I'll get volume 2 after I go through volume 1. So I'm waiting on some other books right now. And let me start that. Hold on. Beyond Encounters, Religion, Ethnicity, and Violence in Early Modern Atlanta. Mr. Branch, did you write this? Yes, in college. In 2000. And I think it was 2011. No. 2010. When I wrote that. That was based on 1492 to the 1700s. Yes, I wrote it. And if y'all want to look it up, go ahead. I wrote it. Beyond Encounters, Religion, Ethnicity, and Violence in the Early Modern Atlantic World. It's a bunch of bull crap. That's what I was writing them about. All right. It should be FedEx. We would like to inform you that your package cannot be delivered due to incomplete information of your physical address. What? No, that might be some scam. Because FedEx would just drop it off at the post office. Yeah, I ain't messing with y'all, man. That's some scam stuff. Man, I'm going to go to the library, y'all. I'm going to go over to see if I got some books over there, y'all. Looks like I might have. It looks like I might have some books over there. All right, and that one they just finally shipped that. Okay, and it says, my apologies, y'all. It says it arrives on the 2nd, March 2nd. All right, let me make sure. Yep, arrives March 2nd. That's the. Yes, sir. That's one of them. It took forever to get here. I ain't saying I just show you some guns. Yes, sir. That's what's up. No, cancel. No, cancel. All right, so that's cool. That's all right. That's 1, 2. I'm gonna go there today just to make sure. I don't want to do a lot of moving around. I still got to still walk. Still, you got to still exercise, people. You can't just. Knights Templar. Oh, man, shut up. Anyway, excuse me. I know people are watching me. Let me advise you, I don't need to know your name. I don't need to know where you live at, who you are. But for those of you who are part of the tribe, I appreciate you. For the other ones who are looking for some spectacle, some great spectacular spectacle, in time. In time. So anyway, I'm getting ready to sign off. I'm going to go ahead and massage my toe. Get me about a 3 to 4 minute meditation in. Then I'll probably head to the post office. It's been raining on and off. And then I'll come back, situate, not too long. Go ahead, finish reading this book. We're only a handful of pages left, guys. Okay, actually it's this is chapter 10 we're on. Yeah, chapter 10. I could have went to the index, which gets some more songs. Stop biting on my toe. All right, some more poems, which is pretty decent. And yeah, that's it. A few pages. Okay, why you want to bite on my toe, cuz? So me give a shout out, and I'll get off of here, and I'm gonna chat with you guys, and we'll get back into Arthur Kessler, and our good brother William Cooper, and a few others. Yeah, hanging right there. You bite my toe one more time, I'm gonna take the heel of my foot, and I'm gonna tap you on the top of your forehead.
Oh, good brother Ronald. What's going on, beloved? I know you can't wait, bruh. Mama Red, what's going on? Beautiful, how you doing? APJR, what's cracking, family? Allison Cooper, hey, Grand Elevations. Yes, yes. Mama Red, yay. What's going on with them churns, girl? Gray Wolf, what's cracking, family? Fasting, yes. Navi, what's going on, baby girl? Hey, you. The Chief Dark Boy Hughes. Chukma, what's going on, Dagwanatini? Yeah, I can't see it unless I put my finger on it when you guys pop. Unless somebody says something outstanding or crazy, and then it pops up. Original Lone Wolf is crazy. Bez, what's cracking? What's cracking, brother? This is we watched your video all through the house. Keep up the road. I appreciate you. All right, appreciate you. Asra Ran L. Okay. I hope I pronounced it and I didn't hack it up too bad. There are some suspicious notifications going out from Amazon and PayPal that may be associated with a cyber breach. I believe it. And you know who did it. You know that. I appreciate that. It's funny. When I go on people's videos, I support everybody. Even if I don't like the content, I just hit the like. I'll do my best to stay in there. But if it don't make sense, I hit the like. At least they got that, and they got the view. It may not be all the way to the end for as far as watch time, but some people just, they're very caught in their caustic love affair of BS-tivity. And there's nothing you can do with bandwagon leaders, people who like to ride on that train and think they are going to get off whatever stop they choose. And they don't get it. There's only one stop when you get on that train, And you would think that they may know better. But from the Wolf Clan or the Raccoon Clan, no, there's only one stop. And you get to see it sooner or later. So you want to come over here watching? You don't want to be respectful, responsibly? We'll see. Anyway, I love you guys. Y'all already know. I got to get this meditation in. I got to get this little 10-minute hand rub on my toe. And after that, post office. I'm right back. And we're going to finish this book up. And then we'll take it from there and get into the other readings. Get those finished. I got so many freaking books to read. I could do this all my life. I'd rather just read books actually all my life, but I'm so tired of people continuously looking and being misled by fools. And I don't mean that they gotta remain foolish or that they're bad. There's a lot of children running around doing bad things, and they didn't come in this world that way. We have to make the correction. We have to fix it. No, we do. It's not you or not me. No, we have to fix it. And how do we do that? By strengthening who we are. What I say about instead of letting it go inside, allow the outside to be and to step into it and allow your internals to become eternal, to change. And what's inside you emanates outward. So you don't have to go in self, in all the foolishness and explode and push more negativity out there. Star Wars, and I've said this before, the Anakin, Luke Skywalker and all of them, as in the Book of the Custodians, Flatlanders, all that stuff, they use the life force around them, of all the living things. They call it metachlorine. I believe that's the proper term. If I'm off, correct me. All that is the meta. You see, they push a metaverse, right? They're creating their own abstract of the matrix, the meta, the ether, the void, the universe. That's who we are, sentient. We are not a name nor a piece of paper. They have begun the how you say it? They have bludgeoned the hammer way too many times now. Now we must remove those broken nails with no good heads on them and reshape them so that they may not be struck. All right? Y'all have a good day. share it. I appreciate it.